My dear student, the previous lecture we talked about transformation rule for functions. We have number outside the bracket, vertical shift up. D, if you have d units. F of x minus d, we go to down. We shifted the graph down. If you have the number inside the bracket, then we move horizontal, left or right. If you have positive, we move to the left. We shifted the graph to the left. If you have minus inside the bracket, then we move horizontal, shift it to right if you have minus. If you have f of x and minus outside the bracket, then reflect about x-axis. And if you have minus negative inside the bracket, then reflection about y-axis. Okay. Now, I will solve for you some question, some function, how you can graph. Okay. Let me start with this example. Let we have f of x equal to x minus 2 all squares. Graph this one. Not we have number inside the bracket. That means we move the parent function, which is x square, we move this x square to the right, 2 units to the right. This one is the graph of x square, parabola. This is y-axis, this x-axis. And now we have minus 2, the 2 inside the bracket. Then we move this graph to the right. 2 units, 1, 2, we move this point. 1, 2 to the right and graph. The blue one is the graph of x minus 2 all square. Another example. If you have f of x is equal to the plus 2 and minus 3. The number inside the bracket horizontal shifted. The number outside the bracket vertical shifted. Plus we go to left 2 units. Minus 3 we go to down 3 units. And what the parent function is x square. Then the graph will be. What's the parent function? Parent function or guide function is x square. But you don't need to graph this x square always, okay? You don't need an exam to graph this one. Just we need this one. Just to explanation. Now, as you like, you can start with this two first, then minus 3, or this one, then this one, as you like. Let we start with this two. This 2 units to the left. Plus 2, we go to left. How many units? 2 units to the left. 1, 2. And minus 3. This minus 3 is vertical shifted. Vertical shifted. This is horizontal shifted. Left to right. Up or down is vertical shifted. We shifted this graph 3 units down. 1, 2, 3. Then the final graph will be this one. And this point, the vertex is -2, -3. This, the blue one, is the graph of x. Another example. All that we talk about, same this graph, but we have minus before. X square minus, just we downward, we graph the function downward, not upward, downward, to the down, open up. Same this example, but I will change parent function with x minus to absolute. Absolute, as you know, if you see absolute يعني V shape, this one. 2 units to the right, 1, 2. Okay, x minus 2, we go to right 2 units, and we have absolute. This is the graph of absolute. When if we have graph of x minus 2, this is radical square root. The graph of square root is eyebrow, or just one eyebrow, single eyebrow, because you have also 2 eyebrows, double eyebrows. This is another equation. We will study that in chapter 1, grade 12. X minus 2, we have radical, and this radical 2 units to the right, 1, 2. This is our graph for this one. Okay. If we have the given is graph, the given is a graph, and the required is describe this graph. What means describe? Describe means is this one left, right, horizontal, vertical. Okay. That we have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 enough. Describe this graph. You say we have horizontal shifted. We have طبعا x square first, and horizontal shifted 2 units to the left, and vertical shifted 3 units up. Three units up. Describe this graph. 2 horizontal shifted to right, x minus plus 2 because you go to left, and up 3 units plus 3. You write, describe it in exam. You have to write what you say. Horizontal shifted 2 unit left. Okay, and it's not all, this is part, and vertical shift 3 unit up. Okay, this is the description. Describe this graph, you say, horizontal shifted 2 units to the left and 3 vertical shifted 3 units up. Okay. Another example. Let me talk about reflect minus of x. This one's reflect about x-axis. If you have x square, but minus before this x square, okay, this one, x square, this is x square, and this minus downward, reflect about x-axis, reflect about x-axis. Of x is equal to, my dear students, is the same if you have absolute x. The graph would be like this one, negative, okay, like this one. Of x equal to minus absolute x, this is downward. Radical x. This one square root x, but if you have minus before, the radical will be, the graph is like this one, okay, minus. Now, can you describe this graph? You have reflect about x-axis and reflect about y-axis. Reflect about x-axis and the graph of this radical. This is radical x. And this is minus radical x. Reflect about x-axis. And last one, this one negative inside, reflect about y-axis. Reflect about y-axis. The final graph is this one. This one is a graph of minus negative x, radical x. Okay. Let me graph another one. And last one. Please, we don't have to solve the exercise 5.2. Just you have a multiple choice and homework, your assignment and homework. Please do it enough, okay? Example 2. minus x plus 2 minus 1. Before we start with the graph, let me describe this graph. The description is this minus, you say reflect about x-axis, this one, and this 2 plus 2 horizontal shift 2 units left, and this minus 1 vertical shift 1 unit down. This one description, describe. Now graph. The graph is as you like. You can start with this one, this one, this one. You get finally same answer. The guide function is square root. يعني this one. Square root. This one. Reflect about x-axis will be this one. Plus 2, 2 is to the left, 1, 2. One unit down, minus 2, negative 1. This is the graph of minus x plus 2 minus 1. Okay, that's all for today about how you can graph any function by knowing the transformation left to right or up or down. Reflect about x-axis, reflect about y-axis. Okay, thank you, your math teacher, Mr. Dlear H.Hasan.